Hello, book buddies. My name's Izzy. Welcome to izzysink, where we talk about all things reading, writing, cocktails, and more. If you hear some background noise, it's from this guy. So I just sort of wanted to shoot a bit of a candid video. I'm in bed right now. Don't have bra on, don't have pants on. Vlog something because I was feeling really inspired and talk about a mental health decision that I made and talk about some podcasts that I really enjoy listening to during COVID that have related to this mental health decision. And it's something that I, struggle with, I'm sure, as we all do, especially in unprecedented times. If you were stressed in your life before COVID, which I was, I'm sure many of us were, you are extremely stressed right now. I made this decision that I need to work on my mental health every day. And maybe that's something that a lot of you are just like, yeah, of course. But for me, that's a very difficult decision to make, to realize, because I sort of grew up with the mentality of, suck it up, you're fine, like, don't be a wimp. And I'm not complaining about that. Like, it made me very tough. That kind of language made me tough, but it didn't make me strong. That was a really important distinction to make, because I could pick a fight with anyone. I didn't have the stability and the peace within myself to be able to remain at a consistent mood or consistent level as the world around me went crazy, especially with COVID. Walk break at 10 p.m. Yay. Scared the coyotes are gonna get me. So, the first podcast I want to talk about is Lore, which is a podcast by Aaronmahnke. It weaves together history, folklore, legend, culture, all into one episode where it ties together multiple stories that connect thematically. I started listening to it in December. Man, giving me the creeps sometimes, but good kind of creeps, like not horror, grotesque, but more having to do with the dark side of humanity and how that manifests itself in different cultures and representations of folklore throughout time. In my opinion, it's very well researched. It oftentimes recounts historical tales we haven't heard of before, or recounts angles of history that we haven't heard before. So maybe you already know a story, and yet somehow Aaronmahnke has managed to find a piece of that story that I haven't discovered yet. In essence, it tells unique tales in a unique way. Highly recommend, and you can find it on any major platform. So you may be thinking to yourself, how does a podcast about the exploration of the dark side of humanity through folklore relate to improving your mental health? For me, it's more about the fact that it's something I love, something I enjoy, something that entertains me, but yet doesn't have to relate to my career, my degree, what have you. Even if folklore, legends, and ghost stories aren't your cup of tea, I hope you realize that what I'm really trying to say is find something that you enjoy, something small that fills some dead space in your day, washing dishes, doing laundry, the way a certain candle smells, or that going on a walk makes you feel better. Value these small things, and just because they're small doesn't mean that they're insignificant. Just because they don't take up a lot of time doesn't mean they're not worth the time. Rosé break. The second podcast I want to talk about is Happier with Gretchen Wiener. No, not Gretchen Wiener. Gretchenrubin and her sister Elizabeth. Yes, I'm in different clothes because I forgot her sister's name and I had to look it up the next day. The thing that I really like about Happier is that it's a podcast that helps you build healthy, practical, and happy habits. Meaning, it helps teach you these small little everyday tasks that you can do that help improve your life, your health, your happiness, your friendships, your relationships. It follows Gretchen, who has been studying happiness for years, and her sister, who she's experimenting on for these little happiness habits to make your life, if not happier, easier. They could be something really small, like establishing a sleep schedule is something really important to your happiness. It is, by the way, as somebody who has suffered from insomnia, I'm gonna tell you right now. And it's done through banter between two sisters, one who lives on the East Coast and one who lives on the West Coast. And it's kind of fun and cool to see their personalities, which are opposite of each other. They deflate that sentimentality with humor. And they have a lot of episodes. You should definitely go check that out. I'll link it down below. I'll link all of these down below. Okay, are you still with me? Because we're on to the third podcast. The third podcast is Scout by Scoutsobel. And she is a young entrepreneur, has been battling bipolar 2 disorder. Through her struggles of bipolar disorder and her ambition of starting her own business, she's mastered the art of combating sadness or depression or anxiety or stress or self-destructive habits. This light is really annoying. I'm so sorry, but it's just gonna have to be this way. So something I really like about this podcast, she's extremely vulnerable and inspirational. Kind of talks about more the philosophy of being happy, the abstract nature of fear, depression, anxiety, all those things, and it's a little bit more philosophical and it's a little bit more spiritual. I would not say that happy or spiritual at all. It more has to do just with habits in your everyday life. In many ways, I find that extremely useful, whereas Scouts Podcast is a little bit more philosophical, a little bit more abstract. I think both are very valuable, and I think you actually need both approaches in your life, whether you get them from a podcast or not, to help you strive towards happiness. So if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know that most of my content is a little bit more well-researched and more structured. I was just feeling inspired and I wanted to put something else. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and turn those notifications on so that you can know when I post a new video. Thanks. Bye.